Hi, my name is Erin Landis, and I'm a case manager here at Covenant Community Services, and I work with the THP Plus program. And this is one of the Hope Talks that we're doing today, and this is all about wowing your employer. So in order to do that, I'm going to give you a few major skills, kind of give you some definitions and some benefits of each, and give you an example of what that looks like. So if anything, with any job, you really want to make a great impression. And in order to do that, I think these three major skills are really going to be something that are going to benefit you in the long run. Because with any job, you want it to be a commitment, and you want your employer to be proud of who you are, and you definitely want to impress your boss, because that's going to get you, in the long run, great benefits in terms of just job stability and being able to move up in the company. So I'm going to go ahead and give you those three major skills, and that is diligence, teamwork, and just being friendly and courteous. And some of these may sound kind of basic to you. You may think, okay, I've heard that before, Erin, not a big deal. But maybe it's something you haven't really implemented into what you've been doing in your job, and I guarantee you if you do, you'll see some great results. So let's talk about diligence. Diligence is basically just working hard at work. It's doing what you've been asked to do and doing it in a timely fashion and getting the job done. So basically it's kind of self-motivation. So maybe you even do more of what is asked of you, and that's even better because that's really going to benefit you. And then in terms of just benefits, if you do your job well and you keep at it, you might be given more responsibility. So maybe your job title changes. Maybe you get better pay. And maybe you move on up in the company, and so that's really awesome. So you really want to do that. And also, even just with working hard and being hard at work, you create a positive working environment. And that's what's really awesome, because when your bosses recognize that, they really want you to be a part of what's going on there at the job. And maybe you even notice things that you need to do as tasks that weren't getting done before. So here you are, and you're creating a job for yourself because you've been able to recognize some skills that you're good at. And what's even neater than that too is that God calls us to work hard. He says that all hard work creates a profit. So you're already working unto the Lord, and so that's just awesome. So, okay, so the next skill is teamwork, and we all can understand what teamwork's about. I don't know if you've played in a Little League game on a team, or if you've played for a soccer crew, or if you've played for some sort of team, but we all have some sort of team environment that we're familiar with, and that team environment can also be carried over into your work environment. So everyone brings different skills and different talents and unique abilities to a job, and when you work together as a team, you're able to capitalize on the tasks that need to get done. So a benefit of working together as a team, obviously, is better outcomes, better ideas, and mutual support. Everyone's there for the common goal to get the job done. So you have to bring what you know and what you're creative at to your job. And that's exciting because you get to be who you are, but yet you get to work with other people. And God even tells us, as iron sharpens iron, we get to work together. So we get to be part of a team at work, and it's kind of fun. Another skill is just being friendly and courteous. I don't know about you, but there's certain places that I can go to where I know people are going to be friendly and courteous, and those are the businesses and companies that I want to go to and that I want to deal with. So being friendly and courteous creates a positive outcome. People want to work with you if you're that way. I don't know if you're familiar with retail, you go buy some clothes. It's really great when you deal with someone who's encouraging you to buy things and they say, oh, this looks great on you, you should buy that. Rather than someone who says, oh, I really don't like that and I think it looks really ugly. Well, I don't want to deal with a rude person. I'd rather deal with someone who's friendly and courteous. So the benefits of being friendly and courteous is just a positive customer response and a positive boss response. Your boss is going to notice that and want to work with you. You may have noticed I'm sitting in the boss's seat. I'm in Randy Martin's office, sitting in his big chair. Well, just so you know, you don't move up in a job just by showing up to work and just doing a great job. There's definitely some different life experiences that I've had that have really proven to help me, and they're kind of all examples of the skills that I've told you about with diligence, teamwork, and being friendly and courteous. So I'm just going to give you a snapshot of some examples that I've done, and just experienced in my own job history that really have kind of proven to be helpful and have proven to be just benefits to me as I continue to work and gain experience in working. So, okay, the first one I'm going to talk about is diligence, and we talked about diligence just being working hard and not only just doing what is expected of you, but really doing a great job. Because it may be something where you show up to a job and you're really not that great at it, but if you work hard, you almost look better than the person who is good at doing that job, but may not be doing the job well. So one of those examples is my first job actually was working at a pharmacy. I was 15 years old. I would walk down the street every Saturday and work at this pharmacy, and it was just kind of a mom and pop's place. So it wasn't anything super fancy. It wasn't like CVS or Rite Aid where a lot of people would go, but it was just a local place here in town on the east side. And so I was really kind of nervous because it was my first job, so I really wanted to do well. A lot of it had to do with the fact that it was my gas money that I had to put in the car. That was my responsibility, so I had to keep a job. And I would show up on Saturday mornings, I would walk home for lunch, and then I would come back to work and work the rest of the afternoon. And so part of the things they would have me do are just simple tasks, right, that you and I do where we live, like dusting, vacuuming, just simple stuff like that. And so one of the things I did was dusting, and I remember the first time I was dusting, there was a gift area where they had like glass figurines and other like delicate items, and I was dusting over there, and I actually knocked one over and I broke it. And I was so mortified, and I was so scared because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get fired. Like, this is terrible. And I remember going to tell my boss, you know, hey, I was dusting, but I knocked over this figure. I'm so sorry. You know, I was just so apologetic. And he said, you know, Erin, I don't care about, you know, what you broke. I am just impressed that you were dusting so well that you felt like you needed to dust all the glass figurines on the shelf. And it was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this. So at that point, it was like, you know what? I'm going to do this every time because that makes a big impression on my boss, because not only am I just dusting the shelves, but I'm dusting everything on the shelves. So even though that's something small, it makes a huge impression. So granted, it's a small little task, but it made a big impression, and so I kept doing it. So the other example is teamwork. I worked at a camp all summer when I graduated college, and I had maybe 25, 30 junior high kids in my class that I would go out into this grassy area, and we would do all these different games. And a lot of these kids didn't even know each other coming to camp. They just showed up, they're in my class, now they're going to go do rec time with kids they don't even know, and here I am trying to get them excited and motivated to do this. I had a girl in my class who was kind of quiet. She was a special needs classmate, and a lot of people really didn't pay attention to her. They really ignored her. But there were a couple guys in my class that really took notice and felt like they wanted to get her involved. So when we were doing rec for the first time, we did this one game where all the kids are standing on these 2x4s, and they've got ropes, and they're having to move the 2x4s all at once together as an entire team. So you can imagine everyone's feet is on each piece of wood, and they're having to move it all at the same time. And so at the beginning, everyone's yelling, hey, let's move it, you know, and finally they got into an area where, okay, if we just have one person yelling and one person telling us directions, we can all follow as a team. And they literally put the girl up at the front of the line to be the one calling the shots, because they felt like she was very vocal and she needed to be given you know, just an opportunity to speak. And so as a team, they were able to capitalize on all those different skills and work together. So that's huge, because sometimes you may be in a work environment where you realize, okay, maybe I'm not particularly good at this one skill, but I know that my friend over here is great, so maybe I need to work with him on this particular task in order to get the job done. So you have to recognize what you're good at and what you're not good at in order to do that. My last example is something about being friendly and courteous. I worked in retail for a long time, and my last retail experience was working at Banana Republic. So very kind of high-end clothes, expensive. We have a lot of people come in there. that spend a lot of money on clothes. And so it's very different. I know I don't do that. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes all the time, but we would have generally regular people coming in week after week spending a whole lot of money on clothes. And I had a girl come in there with her mother. She had never shopped at a store like that before. And her mom was really excited because she wanted to be able to spend some money on her daughter. And so I literally just kind of put myself with them for the whole entire afternoon. And it was one of those things where I had to encourage her to try on certain things. She was kind of nervous about trying on a dress. And I made sure that, I was just friendly to her. And I said, okay, well, what colors do you like? And so it was all about getting to know her and just being friendly and courteous and just polite. And just always saying please and thank you. That's huge when you're being friendly and courteous. So it definitely proved to be a fun afternoon because as I was being courteous to them, I got a positive response. As I said before when I was talking about, sometimes you get a positive response when you do that. So those are my life examples. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for listening to me. My name is Erin, and this is Hope Talks, and I hope you're encouraged and you have gained these 3 skills: diligence, teamwork, and being friendly and courteous in order to wow your employer.